All right. It is the 2055 National Championship. Doing everyone paying to get in here. Uh, Congratulations to both Northwestern and Michigan to making it this far. Circle with Northwestern. This is their sixth time in league history that Northwestern has made it to the national championship. Fourth time underneath Circle. Circle made it last year, ended up losing to UCLA. Coach Circle is 1-3 in the national title games, winning it last time all the way back with James Madison in 2047. Michigan, this is their first time making it to the national championship, but Coach JT's third time. Has won it previously with Alabama in 2048 and 2050, but he also helped build teams that eventually did win national titles. The North Carolina team in 2045, which was built by JT, was taken over and somebody else got the win. And the Alabama win in 2051, also built by him, that Coach Cap took over. Both these coaches are experienced, has something to prove. Let's see how this game will go. Michigan is the home team, as they will wear the all navy or all blue outfit, the classic Michigan helmet, the blue jerseys, the blue pants, the maize lettering, and the blue with maize accents on the shoes. Coach Circle's Northwestern team will come out with the purple helmets, all white unis, but rocking the black and purple shoes. As we will have kickoff here pretty soon. I don't think we announced uh, the location for this game. Let's do, since we're in Big Ten country and RIP Jim Irsay, we'll play it at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. As Northwestern, as the away team, will elect tails because it never fails, and they win the coin toss. I believe so. I believe it is. So yeah. So yeah, Big Ten matchup. Might as well keep it at home. Here we go. Also, the last time conference opponents played each other in the national championship, we got to go all the way back to, I'm pretty sure it was the SEC. Yes, it was SEC versus SEC in 2034, where Florida beat Georgia. So breaking a streak here. Let's see if this big. Yeah, you've been here that long? Post expansion, man. Great time period. Northwestern will get the ball to start the game as we have kickoff. Ross Dixon kicks it off to be taken for the 9-yard line. Danny Mitchell will get a 16-yard return, gets it to the spot where if he would have fair called it or taken a knee, it would have been right there. 1st and 10 from 25. Leading out on the field for the Wildcats is Antonio Cox. Cox this year has had close to 5,000 passing yards, 45 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Here in the playoffs, almost 500 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Had a big run last week in the semifinals win, a 50-yard rush in that game, which kind of boosted his rushing numbers. No rushing touchdowns, he's got a fumble. This offense looks to score early against a defense that is pretty good. 6th in points allowed and 2nd in yards allowed all season. But this offense is top tier as well. 3rd in points, 9th in total yards. Cox drops back to pass in the very first play, and it will fall short as he just couldn't hook up with his man, Joe Batiste. Cox will drop back to pass on the next play, throws it in the flat to his tight end, Maurice Hibbert. He'll get the first down for a gain of 10. Hibbert is the do-it-all Swiss Army knife for the Wildcats. Don't be surprised to hear him get a bunch of rushing yards today as well as the do-it-all player. Handoff, this time to Montpellier, who gets a 2-yard gain. Antonio Cox drops back to pass, looking, flags fly as a pass falls incomplete to Jesse Young, as we have our first penalty of the day. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Christian Fotu will be accepted, and that'll be an automatic first down and brings it to the Michigan 48. And just like that, Northwestern is in enemy territory. Cox throws it over the middle, and it's batted away at the line of scrimmage for an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10. Michigan brings pressure. Cox steps into the pocket and just has to throw this ball away. Tries to find his man Hibbert at the last second, but he sails it over him and it will fall incomplete. 3rd down and 10. Cox takes the snap. Looking, feels that pressure again. He's rolling out, tries to make something. He'll finally dump it off to Zach Mann, who's going to be brought down instantly. It's only a gain of 4, and he'll bring up a 4th and 6, and they will elect to punt this ball away. Matt Roberts punts it, 30-yard punt. Colin Mitchell will get a 16-yard return, and the Wolverines will take over 1st and 10 on their own 30. They will be led out onto the field by their quarterback, junior Will Duncan. A little bit over 4,000 yards passing, 47 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Great QBR of 140.9. Has had a little bit of issues here in the playoffs. He has thrown for over 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, but 59% throwing, 3 interceptions, and a QBR of 90. Has not had the best numbers overall, but he will lead this team out today and has led them this far. Duncan hands it off to Lucifer Pierce. Pierce runs it forward, and he'll get a gain of 3. Pierce gets the handoff again, lowers the shoulder, big boom, gets to the linebacker level where he finally be brought down for a 6-yard gain, and it's 3rd and inches. He got you this far. They hand the ball off to Pierce again, who surges ahead. He will get the first down. Gain of 2 on the play, 1st and 10 at the Michigan 41. Pierce comes out. Duncan runs the play action, looking, tries to find his man Austin, but it's in and out of the receiver's hands as he couldn't hold on to it. 2nd down and 10. Duncan drops back to pass, has time, decides to heave this one deep, and they will sail over his man, Donald Sullivan. Going for a deep pass there, couldn't come up with it. 3rd down and 10. Pierce comes back in. Duncan takes the handoff, and it's a delayed handoff to Pierce, and he couldn't find anything as he will be brought down for no gain. And it will be a 4th and 10. Corey Newman with his first punt of the day. And he gets a good one. This ball will bounce. Danny Mitchell will just let it die as it will be a 0 return, but it'll be 1st and 10 at Northwestern's own 12-yard line. Cox lines up, shotgun formation, looking, pump fakes to the left side, throws it to a wheel route to Hibbert, who has plenty of room, gets to the second level, gets to the safety before he is finally shoved out of bounds for a 28-yard gain. And just like that, have already given Northwestern great field position on one play. Cox will run the speed option, takes it to the outside, pitches it to Montpremier, who gets it, keeps running up the field, and he'll get tackled finally for an 8-yard gain down at the 48. Cox shots back to pass, shotgun formation. Looking, heaves this one deep. Joe Batiste, who gets behind the safety, and he's got it. And it's a foot race touchdown, Northwestern. They'll be the first ones to strike as Cox finds Batiste for a 52-yard bomb. The extra point is up and good as Northwestern takes the early 7-0 lead. 8:59 left in the first quarter. Kickoff will be taken from the 4-yard line as Andy Sims will get an 18-yard return, giving Michigan 1st and 10, their own 22. Duncan keeps it for himself in the RPO, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. 2nd and 10, Duncan hands the ball off to Austin. Austin stopped initially at the line of scrimmage, just bounces to the outside, and he'll fall forward for a 4-yard gain, 3rd down and 6. Pistol formation. Austin to the right. Pierce in the backfield. Takes the snap. Fake it to Austin. Runs to the outside. Pitches it to Pierce. Defense reads it all the way as he's going to be dropped for a 3-yard loss. And they will go 3 and out. They will punt this ball away. Newman, 48-yard punt, 3-yard return by Danny Mitchell. It'll be 1st and 10 at Northwestern 32. Cox drops back to pass, and this ball is batted away. 2nd down and 10. And we must have had Northwestern must have had some Colorado stink rub off on them because they pull a maneuver that Colorado did, which is a delay of game and then a false start, making it 2nd and 20 after the 2 penalties. Just not in the moment. Montpremier gets the handoff for no gain, and then Hibbert will rush it for a gain of 6, making it a 4th and 14, and they squander that drive. Matt Roberts gets a great punt, 44-yard punt. Mitchell gets under it, has a block, bounces it to the outside, makes a man miss as he keeps on running, gets past midfield before he is finally brought down after a 35-yard return, and Michigan will start off in great field position at the Northwestern 37. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, being chased, and he's going to be dropped for a sack. Ivan Gillen will get there and drop him for a loss of 3. 2nd and 13. Duncan drops back to pass, completes it to Eric McCauley for a gain of 9, makes this a 3rd and manageable of 4. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, tries to find McCauley again, but he can't come up with it as he gets hit hard and the ball pops free. Incomplete pass. And it will lead to a 4th and 4 at the 31. And Coach JT will send out his kicker, Ross Dixon, who has struggled during the season. Uh, his longest on the season is 44, and he's 8 for 15. Here in the playoffs, his long is 48, but he's 4 for 5. As this kick is up and good as he matches his long in the playoffs, and Michigan cuts into the lead 7-3. 3:22 left in the first quarter. Dixon kicks it off, and it will be a touchback as Northwestern will take over 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Cox drops back to pass, fires over the middle, finds Joe Batiste, who comes up with it, has a little bit of steam before he's brought down by the safeties for a gain of 15, brings it to the Northwestern 40. Cox drops back to pass, throws it to a back shoulder fade to Jesse Young, who comes down with it and brought down immediately for a gain of 16, and they're in Michigan territory at the 44. Cox drops back to pass, finds Jesse Young again on a curl route, and is brought down hard, and we have a flag on the play. Some extracurricular activities afterwards, and it will be a taunting on the defense. 15-yard penalty to add insult to injury, as it's now 1st and 10 at the Michigan 19. Cox drops back to pass, looking for Zach Mann, and he can't come up with it. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Cox drops back to pass, looking, fires, and intercepted by Jake Harris. Michigan's defense bails them out, and Michigan with the big time turnover deep in their own territory. It'll be a 2-yard return as Michigan will take over 1st and 10 on their own 12. Can they do something with it now? Duncan drops back to pass, looking. Short hops this one to Jim Austin as this falls incomplete. They hand the ball off to Austin, who is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 3rd down and 10. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, doesn't see anything deep, dumps it off to Donald Sullivan, who will only get 1 yard on the play, and that will lead to a 3-and-out Michigan. Last play of the first quarter as Corey Newman gets a bomb 56 yards down the field. Danny Mitchell has to back up to get to it, and he'll only get a 2-yard return, and Northwestern will have it 1st and 10 on their own 33. And at the end of one, Northwestern leads it 7-3. The first quarter sponsor is brought to you by the Illuminati. Because where there's mod rigging, we'll make sure it happens. Wink. And also brought to you by RN Jesus. Recruiting season is still alive, so make sure that you're going out there and praying to get some recruits. All right. Second quarter of action will be underway as Northwestern will take over 1st and 10. Cox sets up the running back screen to Montpellier for a gain of 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2. Hand off to the tight end Hibbert, who gets the first down and a little bit more for a gain of 6, 1st and 10. They'll run a wide receiver sweep. Jesse Young gets it to the outside, and he'll get a 6-yard gain, bringing it to the Michigan 47. Montpellier will get the handoff, rushes ahead. He'll be brought down hard, and that will bring a flag. It's a 5-yard gain, but a additional 15 yards will be added due to a face mask. That will be accepted. It will now be 1st and 10 at the 27. Cox tries to throw it to the outside to Batiste, who couldn't come up with it, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. Tries to hand it off to Hibbert, and he's going to be met in the backfield for a loss of 2. 3rd down and 12 from the 29. Send Hibbert in motion, takes the snap, fake it to Montpellier. Looking, fires, finds Zach Mann, touchdown Northwestern. Cox finds Mann after the safeties bit on the play action. 29-yard touchdown. The extra point is up and good as Northwestern extends their lead 14-3. 12:58 left in the second quarter. Kickoff taken from the 5-yard line. Andy Sims will get a 14-yard return, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 19. Michigan also has the false start bug, as it's now 1st and 15. Duncan completes a pass to Jim Austin, who gets a chunk of that yardage back for a gain of 13, making it 2nd and 2. Handoff to Pierce. He gets 1 yard. Handoff to Pierce again. Surges through the first down marker before he is finally brought down for an 8-yard gain. 1st down, Wolverines. Duncan drops back to pass. Looking, sets up the screenplay. Greg Smith gets it, has some blockers in front of him. Runs it up the field. Breaks another tackle before he is finally brought down for a gain of 23. And that brings it to Northwestern 41. And they have another bonehead penalty as it's an illegal shift on the offense. 1st and 15. But it matters not because they hand it off to Pierce, who surges ahead. He gets a 9-yard gain. 2nd down and 6. Wide receiver sweep here to Jim Austin, who bounced it to the outside. He's got plenty of room, and he'll get past the 1st down marker before he is run out of bounds for a 9-yard gain. 1st and 10. Duncan sets up the screenplay to Pierce out of the backfield, has a couple of blockers in front of him, surges, gets ahead, and he'll finally get the 1st down marker before he's brought down for a gain of 11. 1st and 10 at the Northwestern 17. Handoff to Austin for a gain of 1. Completed pass over the middle to McCauley for a gain of 9. It is now 1st and goal from the 7. Duncan throws it towards the end zone, in and out of Austin's hands as it falls incomplete. 2nd and goal, handoff. Pierce rushes ahead, meets by a host of Wildcats. He'll get 1 yard on the play. It brings up 3rd and goal from the 6. Michigan fakes a toss to Pierce, hands it off up the middle to Edvialdo, who rushes ahead. Touchdown, Michigan. 6-yard run by the Brazilian. The extra point is up and good as Michigan cuts into the lead 14-10. .557 left in the half. Dixon kicks this one off, and it will be a touchback. Northwestern takes over at the 25. They set up a wide receiver run to Zach Mann, who cuts it up the middle, and he'll get a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. Handoff to Hibbert. Hibbert rushes ahead. He gets 13 on the play and gets a 1st down. Cox drops back to pass. Tries to heave this one deep to Guzman, who can't come up with it. That would have gone for a touchdown, but he just sailed it over him. Back to the ground game. Montpelier will get the handoff for a gain of 2, and then a gain of nothing on third down, and Northwestern will have to punt this ball away. 44-yard punt. Mitchell will get an 18-yard return. Michigan will have first and 10 on their own 30 with 2:33 left in the half. Duncan completes it to Greg Smith on a screen. Couldn't come up with anything really as he only gets 1 yard on the play. Duncan in shotgun formation takes the snap, try to run the RPO, and he just drops the ball. It's a fumble, miscommunication as Pierce will dive on the ball. It will be a loss of 6 on the play. Duncan tries to hand it off to Pierce. Pierce couldn't hold on to it. And it's going to bring up a third down and 15 as we hit the 2-minute timeout. Coach JT not happy on the sideline by the miscommunication for his 2 key players. 3rd and 15. Duncan drops back to pass, feels pressure, has to roll out, gets out of the one-arm sack, and tries to find Austin, and it falls incomplete. It brings up a 4th down, and they will have to punt this ball away. Newman, who's had multiple good punts so far, did not get a good one. 31-yard punt, 5-yard return, but they do get saved by an illegal block in the back, as Northwestern will have it first and 10 at the 38-yard line. Cox drops back to pass. Looking, heaves this ball deep down the field to Young, and he's got it. Big gain there of 42 yards. As Michigan will call timeout for whatever reason. And it's going to be first and 10 Northwestern at the 20. Cox keeps it for himself. He rushes ahead. He gets 1 yard. Another timeout by Michigan. They have 1 remaining. 2nd down and 9. Handoff to Hibbert. Rushes ahead, and he'll get 8 yards. Stops short of the first down as Michigan calls their final timeout of the half. 3rd down and 1. Cox keeps it for himself, bounces it to the outside, and he'll run out of bounds for a gain of 3 on the play. And it's now going to bring up 1st and goal from the 8. Hibbert in the shotgun formation, Montpelier to his left. Hibbert gets moved to his right. Cox takes the snap, hands it off to Hibbert. Hibbert rushes ahead, has a couple of blockers falling forward. Touchdown, Northwestern! Maurice Hibbert with the big body moves it over. Extra point is up and good as Northwestern takes a 21-10 lead with 1:22 left in the half. Kickoff will be taken from the end zone. Andy Sims gets a decent return to the 19-yard line, and that's where Michigan will take over. No timeouts. Duncan drops back to pass, and he can't find his man Wells. 2nd down and 10. They will just hand the ball off to Pierce, who gets an 8-yard gain. They hand the ball off to Pierce again, who gets a 10-yard gain, and that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. Northwestern leads it 21-10, but Michigan will get the ball to start the 2nd half. That's the end of the half. Another sponsor is brought to you by Dos Equis. When it's game time, grab yourself an ice cold Dos Equis Lager Especial, bottled in White Plains, New York. Stay thirsty, my friends. All right. Give me a sip of water. as we have third quarter action underway now. Coaches have had their pep talk. Uh, we've had our halftime show uh, brought to you by the Big 12 whiny band. The only way that the Big 12 can get into the national championship is performing at halftime. Um, as they are let off the field and the real teams get to play. Kickoff, Aaron Riddick to the 4-yard line. Andy Sims gets a 20-yard return. Michigan 1st and 10 at the 24. JT wants a comeback, and this is not what you want to see from the get-go as we have a false start on the first play. It is now 1st and 15. Something else you don't want to see. Very next play, Duncan is going to be sacked for a 6-yard loss by Adam Smith. Brings up a 2nd and 21 from the 13. Duncan drops back to pass. Looking, finds Austin on the corner route. As he comes up with it, gets past the first down marker before he's brought down for a gain of 25 on the play. 1st and 10 at 38. Duncan drops back to pass, fires over the middle, and it's in and out of the defender's hands as it's almost intercepted. Duncan hands it off to Pierce for gain of 4. Hands it off to Pierce again for a gain of 4, and it brings up a 4th and 2 at the Michigan 46. And JT will leave his offense out on the field. Pierce comes out. The Brazilian, Ed DeValdo, will get the handoff. No, it's play action. Looking, tries to find him again. It falls incomplete, and it will be a turnover on downs. And Northwestern will take over in great field position at the 46. Cox, his first play, rolling out on the designed rollout play, and he's going to be sacked. Hassan Mensah will drop him for a loss of 3, bringing up a 2nd and 13 almost to midfield. Cox drops back to pass again, throws it to Young, and Young pitches it to Guzman on a hook and ladder, and Guzman has greenery. He gets upfield, touchdown Northwestern. The hook and ladder worked, and Jeremy Guzman takes it 49 yards for the touchdown. The extra point is up and good as Northwestern extends their lead 28-10. Michigan has to score to maintain something. Kickoff taken from the 2-yard line. Sims, 19-yard return, 1st and 10. Handoff to Pierce for gain of 4. Duncan on the play action to Pierce, rolling out, cuts back the other way. He's going to be sacked again. Marcus Terrell gets there and drops him for a loss of 9. 3rd down and 15. Duncan tries to run the RPO, gets rid of the ball quickly to Sean Wells. Wells has a couple of blockers, makes a man miss, extends the arm out for the 1st down and a gain of 15. Michigan answered. Handoff to Pierce. Pierce rushes ahead. He gets 14 yards on the play. Bring it to the Michigan 45. Austin gets the toss out of the backfield, and he is going to be dropped for a loss of 2. Pierce gets the handoff for no gain, but there's a flag on the play. Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, redo the down, 2nd and 22. As Pierce gets the handoff, gets dropped for a loss of 1. 3rd and 23. gets worse for a delay of game, makes it 3rd and 28 as they just hand the ball off to Pierce for a 5-yard gain, making it 4th and 23 now, and they will punt this ball away. 46-yard punt, 18-yard return. Northwestern takes over 1st and 10 on their own 40. Cox hands it over to Montpremier for a gain of Northwestern takes over. Maurice Hibbert fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Michigan, and they'll take over on their own 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Michigan. Okay. From there, Duncan drops back to pass, heaves this one deep as he finds his man Greg Smith down the field for a big 23-yard gain, and it's in Northwestern territory at the 37. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, can't complete the pass to Sullivan as we have a penalty flag on the field. Roughing the passer. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. It is 1st and 10 at the Northwestern 22. Duncan drops back to pass, fires over the middle to Greg Smith, who comes down with it for a big 10-yard gain. It's now 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Duncan drops back to pass, throws it towards the end zone. Intercepted by Michael Moore, who takes it out. Runs up the field and brings it to the 12-yard line, and Northwestern's defense stands tall, killing the Michigan drive. 1st and 10 from the 12. Cox drops back to pass. Rolling out, can't find anything. Doubles back, and he's going to be sacked again by Mensah. A loss of 9 on the play as it's now 2nd and 19 from their own 3. Cox drops back to pass. He's in his end zone as he throws his ball, and he finds Montpremier for a gain of 6. 3rd down and 13. Michigan sends pressure. Cox drops back to pass. Looking, gets rid of it quickly to Jesse Young. Young breaks the first initial tackle, keeps getting up the field, past the first down marker, and he'll get a gain of 25 on the play as it's 1st and 10, Northwestern 34. They made it out of the back of their own end zone. But that's where the drive is stalled. Incomplete pass, a completed pass to Jesse Young for 5 yards, and it brings up a 4th and 5. Matt Roberts' 47-yard punt will sail out of bounds, and Michigan will take over 1st and 10 on their own 14 as we end the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, it is 28-10 Northwestern. Michigan has time running out to do something. And they have 15 minutes to do it. Duncan drops back, doesn't see anything, decides to keep it for himself. He'll rush ahead, and he'll get a gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5. Duncan drops back to pass, throws it quickly to Greg Smith, who can't come up with it, but there is a flag down. Holding on the defense. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down, 1st and 10 to 24. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, finds Sean Wells over the middle on a post route, gets hit hard as he'll get a 21-yard gain, and Michigan calls a timeout. 1st and 10, their own 45. Handoff to Greg Smith for no gain. Handoff to Pierce for gain of 4. Handoff of Pierce again. He gets 14 as they'll have 1st and 10. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, throws the ball, and it falls incomplete to Donald Sullivan. But we have an injured Wolverine on the play. Wide receiver Jim Austin goes down, holding his back. And he is going to be out for the rest of the game. Second down, incomplete pass to Greg Smith. Third down, incomplete pass to Sullivan, as they will have to punt this ball away. 46-yard punt for a touchback. Northwestern will take over on their own 20. Cox drops back to pass, finds man for a gain of 13. First and 10, hand the ball off to Montpremier, who is dropped for a loss of 1. Second down and 11. Cox drops back to pass, throws it over the middle to Guzman, who gets past the first down marker, keeps running up the field before he's finally brought down for a gain of 23. And we have yet another injured Wolverine, as Nick Monson goes down, as he is holding his foot and will need assistance to get off the field. First and 10 at the 45-yard line of Michigan. Cox keeps it for himself, runs it for a gain of 4. Montpremier gets the handoff for a gain of 11. Big first down at the 30. Cox drops back to pass, looking, finds man. Big gain there for 25, and it brings up a first and goal from the 5. Hurrying up to the line of scrimmage. Cox gets the handoff. Montpremier, hand up the middle. Touchdown, Northwestern. The extra point is up and good, and it is 35-10 with 8:10 left in the game. I've seen miracles, but there's got to be one somewhere. After the touchback, first and 10, Michigan. Duncan drops back to pass. Northwestern sends pressure, and they get to Duncan again. Marcus Terrell drops him for a loss of 7, brings us 2nd and 17. Hand off to Pierce for a gain of 2. Third down and 15. Duncan drops back to pass. Finds his man, Greg Smith, on one-on-one coverage, who gets 20 yards on the play, and it's a first down at the 40. Duncan drops back to pass, looking, fires over the middle. Intercepted by Traylor Parker. Another interception for Duncan, as Northwestern will take over. As we have less than 6 minutes left in the game. And to save sanity, Guzman rushes it for 2 yards. Hibbert rushes it for 14. Montpremier rushes it for 2, but has an unnecessary roughness on the defense. Makes it first and 10 for the 13. Antonio Cox finds Maurice Hibbert for the touchdown for a gain of 13. And then Northwestern goes for 2. And Cox rushes it in for the 2-point conversion, making it 43-10. Michigan, Duncan, complete pass to McCauley for a gain of 19. Incomplete pass. Complete pass to Sullivan for 10. Northwestern gets an unsportsmanlike conduct, makes it first and 10. Michigan, incomplete pass. Rush with Pierce for a gain of 2, but they get an unnecessary roughness. Followed by an unsportsmanlike conduct on Michigan, makes it 2nd and 40. Incomplete pass, a complete pass to McCauley for 18. 4th and 22. They punt the ball away for a touchback. Yeah, 2nd and 40. Two plays with back-to-back penalties. Northwestern gets it. They go 3 and out after getting sacked. Mensa gets another sack of loss of 8. They punt the ball away. Michigan will get a turnover on downs. Northwestern gets a first down, and they end the game, and that is it, as Northwestern wins this one 43-10, and Circle will get his second ring, his first with Northwestern. Congratulations to Circle. As now, JT will finally lose in a national championship game. Circle and Northwestern break the curse, bringing Northwestern's second national championship since Cash Mikey did it back in 2039. Circle, the floor is yours. Well, hear nothing. Um, Congratulations to both JT and Circle. Y'all made it this far. Hell of a season for both of y'all. Now we switch gears into the off season. Um, we'll put a timeline up and announcements here pretty soon on when National Signing Day will be happening. So make sure that everyone's getting their walk-on offers and final offers for recruits in the top 500. Um, Make sure to look at your scholarship tracker to see how many open scholarship positions that you have. And also check out your EEs because the draft will be coming up here pretty soon as well. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the national championship game. And congratulations once again to Circle and Northwestern. I'll be dropping that export now. So y'all can view that. There you go. Y'all have a good night, everyone.